This week on Today's Homeowner, we're tackling the heat to prepare for the cold. Come hang out with us while we help an avid gardener get ready for winter with this budget backyard greenhouse. Right now the temperatures are still very warm, but once it starts cooling off, that doesn't mean that everybody that likes working out in the garden has to hibernate. The solution is a backyard greenhouse. Now my friend Story Walters, who's also my neighbor, has been talking about wanting a greenhouse forever. Well, this week she's getting that greenhouse. Story is one of those people who is constantly working and planning to improve her gardens. In fact,
well, it's almost every day. I feel like I'm still searching for the plan sometimes because I'm always digging stuff up and moving. I kind of can go shopping in my own yard. But one day I really want to have a lot of more vegetables and fruits because I'm kind of into the organic stuff.
Now, we talked about the greenhouse before, and now we're about to build you a greenhouse, but what about the location of it? Have you thought about that?
Well, when y'all first brought it up, I thought it would be kind of cool to have it really close here because the idea of starting all my winter vegetables and things soon and just being able to move it over here would be great. But
maybe somewhere where it's a little more shady?
Well, if we could get it to go way back, the yard's an acre, so it's a lot of yard, but this is a fig tree and it's eventually going to get big, and these azaleas, if they can get big, and if it kind of could nestle back there, then it would get shade and still get sun, but be close enough for me to be able to work with it.
Let's take a look at it and see if we can find a spot back here.
Well, I like the idea that you said when you set it up, we can move it exactly where I want to before we finish it.
It's real wide. I mean, I used to build these things, and me and one person can lift it over a fence.
When I get tired of it, they can borrow.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you can lawn it out for the winter, but
when theirs comes down.
But it's, I mean, it's, you know, a little unleveled. That'll be pretty easy to level all of this up, and then have the door right there. Maybe you can put a little stone path going over to the grass, and I mean, I don't see any problem at all. This seems perfect. While Story and I have been chatting, Alan has been out on the driveway checking out our materials for the greenhouse.
This is everything?
That's it. That's the whole greenhouse, and I mean the whole thing. Of course, it's an 8x8.
Yeah.
Still, that's $800 worth of materials.
And how long ago were you building these?
Well, actually, look at this. This was from about 30 years ago, and I built. This was my big multimedia presentation here. And back then, which something like I don't know, 1985 or so. I sold an 8x12 greenhouse for $395,
Wow.
delivered, including tax.
And you expect me to believe that you still remember how to build these?
Well,
huh?
that's going to be a bit of a challenge because I had these little cool patterns that I used that I would do all the cutouts on them and everything. I don't have them anymore, so that's going to be our first step, is to grab a few of these 2x2s and let's reinvent 30 years ago.
Sounds good.
But I got a plan here, see?
Okay, I believe you.
See, I used to take 2x4s, and I had this old table saw, and I'd rip these things right down the middle. And of course, now that you can get the 2x2s, back then you couldn't get the 2x2s as much. All right, so 8x8. So what we're going to do is do the two ends, like the front and the back.
Okay.
And so let that be one of the bottoms.
All right.
Then take that one, just kind of overlap it a little bit, and just kind of lay that out there.
All right.
Now let it overlap, and then just slant it in a little bit.
All right, about like that?
Like that, yeah. Essentially, we're recreating the pattern for one of the end walls of the greenhouse from my memory and this old photo. First, the wall has to accommodate the storm door we picked up at the home center. So at the center of it, we're laying out a 32 by 80 inch rectangle. Then we'll fill in the rest of the structure around this opening. If you make sure you keep the 90-degree angle square and make measurements from a common center point, you can basically mark the other cuts in place. Now, while Alan makes those cuts on the miter saw, let's check in with Joe for a simple solution that's ideal for those who garden.
Container gardening is growing in popularity because it allows you to exercise your green thumb without a huge investment in time, money, or even space. All you need is a container of some sort. We're using a 5-gallon bucket that you can get at any hardware store or home center. And I started by drilling some drainage holes in the bottom. Then I'm going to add maybe 5 or 6 inches of styrofoam peanuts to help to help excess moisture drain out. Sometimes you see people use gravel, but gravel's extremely heavy. So this is a much smarter technique by using the peanuts. And then I'm going to add soil, but I'm only going to add a little bit of soil at a time, maybe 3 or 4 inches. That's plenty. And then spread it out. I'm going to add some gelatin. This is just plain old gelatin you can get at any supermarket. Add 1 pouch, just sprinkle it in. And what that's going to do, it's going to retain the moisture and then release it slowly over time, which is going to ensure a nice healthy plant. And then you just keep repeating this. Add a little more soil, spread it out, and another packet of gelatin. And you continue in this way until the bucket's full. Mix it in. And once it's full, pack it down a little bit and you're ready to put in your plants.
I know, it's a lot more work.
This week we're building a budget backyard greenhouse for my neighbor and friend Story Walters so she can continue to enjoy her gardening through the colder days of winter. Al and I are working from a design I perfected 30 years ago to build and sell these things when my remodeling business was a little slow. We've nailed down the layout and started making our cuts for the template wall. Now it's time to start piecing it all together.
That's 45, that's that goes to that. So if that goes there, then...
These two come together.
Well, pretty good, huh? All right, so there's really...
So I need to just mirror this on this side.
Right.
Basically all the cuts.
Right, the only thing would be whether or not we're still... I don't see where anything would throw it off side to side, even though it has. Let's see, maybe that goes...
We're not square down there. I mean, it's all going to come this way a little bit, I think.
There, okay, all right. Okay, good. All right, we'll go ahead and do that cut. 1 more of those,
okay.
Same angle, 1 more of those, and we might be nailing then.
All right.
So while Alan makes the final cuts, I get the nail gun ready so this thing can start going together. With this narrow stock, even with the nail gun, there are occasional miscues. Oh, some more painful than others. But the first piece comes together fairly quickly.
Well, just almost exactly all we'll need to do. We got a 32-inch window, just like the width of the door. We'll have one 2x2 going down there for the bottom of the window. And then that's it. We can put this together, put another one together, and we can start assembling it down there.
With all the angles and lengths figured out, the other end goes together very quickly, even with the addition of that extra piece for the bottom of the window. Now we move to the location where the greenhouse will sit and begin filling in the framing between these 2 end walls. By connecting the 2 ends with 8-foot 2x2s, we're establishing the final footprint of the structure, but it's a little tricky because the whole thing is very fragile at this point.
This is actually the trickiest part of the whole thing, because you just feel like it's all gonna fall over.
Right.
But it won't. Not with you there.
A total of 5 boards join the 2 ends before we can begin adding the vertical supports in the middle. At each step, the structure gets a little more rigid, and once the framing is finally done, we're ready for Story to give the location her final okay so we can begin leveling the ground.
All right, we pretty well have it framed up, but we can move it if you don't like it. But this is where we talked about where you have the door here, and you got enough room to walk around it and everything. So what do you think?
I'm thinking it looks good, but I'm thinking we definitely want to move it.
All right.
Because, do you want to know why?
I hope you're not moving it. I hope we're not moving it to the front yard.
No, I'm just thinking, from looking up at my house, I'm not getting as much shelter from it. I've got this tree here and all that, and it's going to be kind of glaring with the door,
Yeah,
the
big
white door right there.
Yeah.
So maybe if we can flip it and have the door facing the north.
Well, none of this is important to you anyway, is it? All
No,
this
it
stuff.
can be gone instantly. I have my shovel right there.
Well,
And
I mean, it's no problem. I mean, it's level enough and everything. We can bring it back. Like I say, it's 8 foot by 8 foot. So if we wanted to come back, say to here, let's see, Alan, right there. So that would be where the front door is there if we did that.
okay. And then I can just have a path come through there, and this azalea, that fig, and all this is, I mean, if I fertilize it, I can just get it nothing but bigger
and
to
this
give
is
me.
a little lower than that too.
And
so
it'll
it's
get a
gonna,
little more sun here,
Yeah.
but it's still gonna get the shade because of all the stuff. but it won't bake.
Well, you're the one that knows all about plants.
Well, I don't know
We
about
just
that.
throw these
well,
things
you know
together.
about building greenhouses.
All right, well, we'll do that. Let's chop this stuff down, and we'll move it in place, and then we can tweak it a little bit before we put the fiberglass on.
Sounds good.
Okay, and you're gonna help us on that, huh?
I'm going to do it right
All right,
now.
cool.
Okay?
All right, great.
Okay.
Clearing and leveling the new location goes very quickly because this fertile garden soil is so soft, and apparently we're not the only ones who appreciate that.
Ooh, look at them earthworms.
Earthworms.
Yeah.
You were right about your cardboard.
Yes, sir. See, you doubt me.
Moving is pretty easy too because the skeleton structure hasn't taken on much weight yet. After a little fine tuning, we're set on the location.
I think that looks a lot better. I think that door is going to be,
We can move it back more if you want.
and you're probably glad I said that so you don't have
No.
to just keep toting this frame around.
No, we can move it. We can move it back wherever you want. I mean,
I
either
think-
way, we're probably gonna have to cut that because we can't put the glass back there. We can't put the fiberglass back there like
No,
it is.
I can dig all that up.
Okay. You sure you like it where it is?
Yeah, because then I'll just have my blood orange tree and then I don't need anything else back there.
Okay. All right. Well, let's level it up then. All right.
While we finish leveling the ground here and brace the framework to hold it square, why don't you check out this week's best new product?
There are several different advantages to having a greenhouse. First of all, if you want to make your plants last all season long, when the weather starts to turn cold, all you got to do is bring your beautiful plants into your greenhouse and they'll last all year long. Now, another thing that you could do is that you could use these little pots here and you could plant your own seedlings so that you could grow in your greenhouse. Now, to get a good start for your seedlings, you need to get a good soil. Now, I've got Miracle Grow seed starting soil right here. And this is perfect if you are considering growing your own plants out of seeds. What makes this so good? Well, it's chock full of phosphorus, which really helps the root and the stem systems grow really strong in your little plants so that they'll be good and hearty to go when you want to put them in the ground. So whether you have existing plants or you want to start your own plants, make sure you have a greenhouse and also make sure you start with some good soil before you do.
Find out.
Our project this week is a backyard budget greenhouse for my neighbor, Story Walters. Alan and I got the framework assembled just in time for Story to check our work
I'm thinking it looks good.
and make a few adjustments.
I'm thinking we definitely want to move it.
All right.
Once we got that ironed out, we decided to call it a day, and now we're ready to wrap this thing up.
Boy, we're at the start of the second day. Yesterday was brutal. It was like 97 degrees. Today, cool spell, only 96, but a ton of humidity. But we've got a little bit of shade down here where we position the greenhouse, so shouldn't be much of a problem. Now, the fiberglass that we're using is a pretty traditional type of fiberglass. It's corrugated. We're using a green color because Story wanted to try to camouflage and kind of hide the greenhouse as much as possible. Now, Alan and I will be putting the fiberglass on the ends first, squaring things up. We'll trim it all out and then start with the main part of it, starting at the top and wrapping it around. It really should only take about an hour and a half or so to put all the fiberglass on.
The panels are secured to the frame with self-tapping roofing screws. These things have a little rubber washer beneath the head so that they seal the hole they go through once they're tightened. As you go up the wall, each panel overlaps the one before it by a couple of rows, and the whole greenhouse gets sturdier with each one. We're overlapping the ends of the wall so we can cut them all flush once each wall is complete. A regular saw blade would make a mess of this stuff, so Alan is using an abrasive blade which basically burns through the panels. It also makes some incredibly fine dust, which makes the particle mask a must if you try this project yourself. We're covering the two ends first because the roof and sides have to overlap them. The roof starts with these foam gaskets which help seal off the gaps caused by the corrugations in the panel.
All right, we're gonna center this pretty much right over the top. If you'll grab that, let me see if I can walk it up the ladder here. You got it?
Yeah.
Lining up the first roof panel with equal margins on each side of the ridge and the proper overhang on each end takes a little time, but it's important so all of the other pieces will follow suit. Once the first panel is in, the process speeds back up again, one panel after another working down the roof onto the sides. Before we cover the sides completely, I'm cutting out the openings for the window and door and figuring out a template for the shelf braces that'll mount on the walls inside. The scrap pieces of 2x2 left over from the framing are ideal for this stuff.
All right, just a couple more of these shelf brackets. You see, we were talking about being able to use up every
Oh, yeah,
scrap
little
of
scratches.
everything. That's why I was able to sell them for $3.95.
Sure.
I was recycling before it was hip and cool.
We're mounting these braces to each side support with 3-inch long screws so that the horizontal leg is level. Another 8-foot 2x2 connects the supports across the front before we mount the 3 1x4s that form the shelf. The gaps between the boards are actually a benefit because they'll let water drain off the shelf when you water the plants. Finally, we're putting on the last panel before we begin installing the window. For this chore, you'll need similar screws to the ones we used on the fiberglass panels, just a little longer. To keep weeds from popping up inside, I'm spreading a layer of plastic inside the greenhouse before we spread the gravel that will form the floor. It's easier to get your wheelbarrow in if you do this before you hang the door.
Is that about one of the heaviest storm doors you've ever seen? Gee whiz.
I had a different one in mind when you
Nice
said we
and
could do it.
insulated there, so.
Okay, let's see. Let me get the
You want to do it
outside
that way
flange.
or just close it off?
Close it first? I thought you
Close it and hold it over to that side.
All right.
It's important that the door is plumb or perfectly vertical before it's attached so that it'll operate properly. A few more screws and this thing will be done.
Gerald asks, I want to stain my new treated lumber deck, but I'm told I have to wait several weeks. Is that true?
Whether you have an old deck or a brand new one, it's important to regularly apply a stain or sealer so that you can keep your deck looking as good as possible and lasting as long as it should. But with the new deck, the new wood needs a little time to allow the chemicals or the moisture in the wood to evaporate a little bit so that it will receive the stain or sealer in the best way possible. Now, a lot of factors play into that, whether or not the material was stored outside at the lumber yard, how long ago it was that they actually treated the wood, and whether your deck is out in the sun or in the shade. So as a general rule, I would say wait at least 4 weeks after your deck is built, or 8 weeks if you're in a real shady situation. That way, when you apply the stain or sealer, it'll stay there. This week we're getting a jump on the cold weather by building a backyard budget greenhouse before it's really needed. We've been working from a design I used 30 years ago to create a place for my neighbor, Story, to start her spring garden a little earlier next year. Using 2x2 lumber for the frame and fiberglass panels for the skin, we've created an 8-foot by 8-foot oasis from the frigid weather. And we've done it on a pretty meager budget, although it's not quite as cheap as it was 30 years ago. All right, Story, I want to show you around your greenhouse area here. We got a little pine straw we were able to dress up around here. Nice insulated storm door. This one has the panel that slides up and down so that, you know, during the winter you'll close it off, but during the summer open it up. You have a little cross ventilation between here and the window. Gravel so that you can water everything and not be standing around in mud, and then the little shelves on either side will give you a chance to, you know, put the little bedding trays up there and so forth.
Yeah, I think it looks absolutely fabulous, and I can see starting my vegetables really early, and by the time I need to put them in my yard in March, I'll be so ahead of the game.
Kind of a jump start on everything. And I know during the winter a lot of times people will take their big container plants, and you know, you have plenty of vertical room there. You can put that right in there. You'll probably need just a small little heater with a thermostat setting for the real, you know, harsh part of the winter, just to put a little bit of a heat source in there.
Okay, I think it looks great.
Good, good.
And I really like the location.
Oh, you
Can
do? Oh,
believe that?
that's right. You wanted me to call you Apprentice all day long. Or Princess, I can't remember.
The only reason is because you have this schematic in your 32-year-old memory that you were not sharing with anyone.
Oh, no, because it's a little faded.
You missed one.
Good. I do that on purpose. Let me explain why.
Yeah, explain that.
I can't explain that. It's too hot.